So let's go check out a Guatemalan supermarket. This is obviously a fancy one, but I wanted to show you some cool typical products that you would find in Guatemala. First thing is note the number of avocados. 1, 2 piles of avocados, I guess different races of avocados. 3, and then for all the drinks, I mean here they love these limes. This here is all stuff to make a really popular juice here, which is called agua de Jamaica. Obviously, a big difference here is the meat cuts. There's so much more meat than in your average Austrian supermarket or Belgian supermarket. It's Latin America. Steaks are a big thing, and the quality is exceptional. This is something that you don't see. These massive rolls. I mean, this is mortadella, for example. I don't think you would find anything like this in any supermarket in Europe. The number of tortilla brands is quite large, and this is just one section of, I believe, wheat tortillas. So I'm pretty sure Laura would agree with me to say that this is potentially the most important section in the Guatemalan supermarket, which is the frijoles section. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the brand that she loves, the Ducal. And I wasn't aware that there were so many different types. You have red frijol, medium spicy but written in red. Tons and tons of different types for all your frijoles needs. So this is the beer section, and we see the most famous Guatemalan beer, which is Gallo. I think the second most famous is Cabra. I don't really see it directly. This is another brand that I know is really famous here, Quetzalteca. Yeah, very Guatemalan. And then what you will find in the beer section, which you don't find anywhere else in Europe, are these tomato sauces. So you might ask, why is there tomato sauce here? That's because they mix it with the beer to make, damn it, I just forgot the name for it. So I don't know how come I forgot, but actually it's called to make a michelada. And you can also do a chelada. So michelada and chelada, that's why there's tomato sauce here in the beer section. So in terms of alcohol, I think Guatemala is most famous for its strong liquors, and namely its ron. And here we see the most famous brand, which is the Ron Zacapa. It's the most famous Guatemalan brand, which you will find in every single airport across the world. But then we also have a bunch of other brands like Colonial, Botran. Botran is really big as well. And you'll also find them across Guatemala. And then we have also some specific gins. And here we see actually the Quetzalteca, the most famous thing that Quetzalteca produces, which are these little flasks that you can drink with all these different tastes. So obviously Guatemala is really famous for coffee, and the amount of coffee you can get here is incredible. I'm not going to film to the right because there's someone standing there, but the whole section continues for quite some time. So if you come to Guatemala, you definitely need to buy yourself some coffee. This is also a thing that I personally love from Guatemala. Maybe it's not that famous, but I love these things called champuradas. They're like really hard, dry biscuits, and you're supposed to eat them with coffee, I believe. And I think they're just perfect, a perfect combination with the coffee. And just also on their own, they're really tasty. And if you can get them freshly made, they're extra good. So I'm just gonna buy one of these as well. Another super popular Guatemalan snack is chicharrones, which is essentially fried pig skin, which is a great chip. So you see chicharron, More chicharron everywhere, but also these fried plantains, and many other types of chips. So if you know about the history of Guatemala, you'll know that bananas are a big thing here, and they have different varieties. So we have one type here, and then we have in the back there 2 different piles of bananas, as well as a lot of different mangoes here piled up, and fruit that you don't even get imported, or let's say exported to Europe, like this thing, which I don't even know what it is actually. But there's a lot of fruit you can try out here that does not get sent to Europe. And look at these bananas here. All the different types of bananas you could want. Big bananas, small bananas, packed bananas, more lime, pineapple, melons here, 2 different types of melons, and this is called this is a papaya, actually, nothing fancy. It's because I saw here kaya paya, but on the other side it just says papaya. So Guatemala, country of rum, and you see these casa de rons everywhere in the city, illustrating how much they care about their rum culture. So I just got out of the supermarket right there where I showed the rum, but here if you look inside, I believe this Casa de Ron is from the Rum Zacapa company, which also owns a few other brands. And you see here, no, they don't own all of these brands. Many of these brands are actually not from so I was wrong. There's many different types of alcohols here. But many of them are Guatemalan. Like this gin is the most famous Guatemalan gin, Xibal. But obviously this whiskey is not from Guatemala. But if we look on the other side, we have the rum, the different variations of Botran. We have spiced rum. We have here different aging, so we have 8 years of aging, 15 years of aging, and then this seems to be a rare blend in Guatemalan oak barrels. This is apparently a sipping rum. I'm not a rum expert, so please correct me. And again, different agings, different colorings. And here, this is the most famous of the Guatemalan rums, and at the very top we have presumably the best of the rums, so the Zacapa Royal, and then we have here the XO and different other editions, the Edición Negra. I have one of these at home, and they have here even more different types.